In a shocking turn of events, the authorities have released new text message evidence that places Lil Durk in the middle of a deadly murder-for-hire plot involving Quando Rondo. What did Durk say in his texts? And will the messages be enough to seal his fate? In this video, I will be revealing all there is to know about Lil Durk's involvement in the murder-for-hire plot, his arrest, and what comes next. Lil Durk text messages revealed. The world of hip-hop is no stranger to controversy, but the charges against Lil Durk, the revelations made by the authorities, and the alleged plot against Quando Rondo have taken the industry by storm. Lil Durk, whose real name is Durk Derrick Banks, is facing serious charges. These charges include conspiracy to use interstate facilities to commit murder for hire resulting in death, and a text message he sent himself has now become a key piece of evidence against him. Durk is not the only one facing these charges. Several members of the OTF are also involved, and it is believed that he sent the incriminating messages to them. Rising from the streets of Chicago, Lil Durk has built a reputation not only as a talented artist, but also as a central figure in the Only the Family collective popularly known as the OTF. OTF has often been associated with both musical success and street credibility. However, this credibility has sometimes been overshadowed by legal troubles and allegations of violence. According to FBI agent Sarah Corcoran, members of the OTF collective were allegedly involved in acts of violence at the direction of Lil Durk, with the aim of maintaining their status and avenging King Von's death. Corcoran's affidavit suggests that Lil Durk made it known that he was willing to pay a bounty to anyone who could eliminate Quando Rondo, whose real name is Tiquian Bowman. Prosecutors allege that on August 18, 2022, members of the OTF, under the direction of Lil Durk, arranged a plot to murder Quando Rondo. This plot, they claim, was carefully planned and executed with chilling precision. According to court documents, DeAndre Wilson, Keith Jones, David Lindsay, Asa Houston, and a fifth unnamed suspect flew from Chicago to San Diego. From there, they drove to Los Angeles, allegedly using funds provided by Lil Durk himself. Prosecutors have presented evidence suggesting that in addition to offering a bounty, Durk was actively involved in the planning of this operation. A text message allegedly sent by Durk instructed an associate to avoid booking flights under any names associated with him. The message served as proof of Durk's desire to maintain a low profile. There is also video evidence that reportedly places Durk at a house in the San Fernando Valley on the day of the alleged plot. Upon their arrival in Los Angeles, the OTF members met with Keon Grant. Grant, who had flown in on a private jet, played an important role in facilitating the group's activities. He arranged for hotel accommodations, bought ski masks, and secured 2 luxury sedans to help with logistics. Grant also provided firearms to Jones, Lindsay, and another unnamed suspect, including a gun that had been converted into a fully automatic machine gun. The following day, the group allegedly followed Quando Rondo and his associate, Saviaya Robinson, as they went about their business around Los Angeles. Unaware of the surveillance, Robinson and Quando were closely monitored. Durk's associates tracked them to a marijuana dispensary, a clothing store in West Hollywood, and finally a gas station near the Beverly Center. It was here that the alleged plot reached its climax, a deadly ambush that left 24-year-old Saviaya Robinson dead, while Rondo narrowly escaped with his life. Quando Rondo is a rising star in the hip-hop world who hails from Savannah, Georgia. Despite his musical achievements, Rondo's career has had its share of controversies. The rapper often finds himself entangled in feuds and rivalries that are all too common in the rap game. With the murder-for-hire plot uncovered, bringing the suspects to justice was the next step. Last Thursday, law enforcement officers carried out a series of arrests in Chicago, detaining key figures involved in the alleged conspiracy. DeAndre Wilson, Keith Jones, David Lindsay, Asa Houston, and Keon Grant were taken into custody on charges of conspiracy to commit murder for hire. That same night, the authorities apprehended Lil Durk in Broward County as he allegedly attempted to flee the country. Lil Durk's arrest has sent shockwaves through Chicago, a city that has long embraced him as one of its own. Andre Harvey, the mayor of Bellwood, a village just 14 miles west of Chicago, expressed his surprise at the news. Having recently partnered with Lil Durk's Neighborhood Heroes Foundation, Mayor Harvey had witnessed firsthand the positive impact of Durk's charitable efforts. The foundation had promised to provide resources and mentoring opportunities for the youth in Bellwood and the nearby village of Broadview. This partnership was celebrated just days before the arrest, with Andre Harvey and Katrina Thompson, the mayor of Broadview, in attendance. To solidify the partnership and appreciate Lil Durk's efforts, Harvey and Thompson presented him with keys to their respective villages. However, the symbolic gesture faced backlash even before the news of Lil Durk's arrest on murder-for-hire charges broke. While some people believe Durk's efforts should be recognized, others felt he did not deserve the keys. One concerned citizen noted that giving Durk the keys to the village might send the wrong message, while Arnitra Westbrooks, a Broadview resident, pointed out that Durk isn't from the area, stating, "He's not even from this, he's from the South Side. Janelle Moreland, the current village clerk in Bellwood and a mayoral candidate, also weighed in on the matter, saying, "So what about the people that have been active in our communities, that have done great things in our communities?" Despite the backlash they received, the two mayors stood their ground. Thompson even defended her decision at a village board meeting just days ago, saying, "I am a mayor and am proud to have made that connection that is very valuable to our community." Unknown to her, things were about to get complicated. Following Durk's arrest, Bellwood Mayor Harvey and Broadview Mayor Thompson had to determine their next steps. Despite the serious nature of the allegations, Mayor Harvey stood by the principle of presumed innocence, stating, "We live in the United States of America where the accused is innocent until proven guilty." Katrina Thompson, the mayor of Broadview, took a different approach. She responded decisively to the arrest by announcing the severance of ties with the Neighborhood Heroes Foundation and revoking the honorary key to the village that had been awarded to Durk. Thompson's attempt to make things right was applauded by many, but quite a few people, including Angela Patterson, who is running for mayor in Broadview, have come out to say that Durk should never have had the keys in the first place. Shandale, a well-known radio personality from Raw TV Radio on Power 92.3 FM, has also spoken out about the situation. He has a personal connection to Lil Durk that dates back to before Durk became famous. Shandale was the first person to play Durk's music on Chicago airwaves over a decade ago, and he described the charges as devastating. He spoke about Durk's humble beginnings, describing him as a young artist who was very cool, down to earth, humble, and appreciative of the opportunity to just be on radio. Shandale compared the situation to a leap off the Willis Tower, capturing the dramatic fall from grace that many see. As Durk and the OTF members await their day in court, the legal proceedings continue to unfold. Durk and his attorney, Alex Ubieta, have agreed to have his next hearing on pre-trial detention held in the Central District of California, where the original crime occurred. As the world continues to react in shock to the new developments in Durk's case and the surprising evidence against him, there's only one question on everyone's mind: what was the motive? A pattern of retaliation. According to the FBI, Lil Durk's murder-for-hire plot was done in retaliation for the murder of his childhood friend and associate King Von. King Von was murdered in 2020, and his death has been linked to an altercation with Quando Rondo. This information made Rondo a target to the OTF. King Von, whose real name was Davon Bennett, was killed a few days after he released his third album, Welcome to O Block, on October 29, 2020. On the night of November 5, 2020, King Von and his entourage arrived in Atlanta. The group decided to spend the evening at the Monaco Hookah Lounge, a popular spot frequented by celebrities and locals alike. As the night progressed, things took a shocking turn. Reports suggest that King Von and his crew encountered another group at the lounge, which included Atlanta rapper Quando Rondo. The two groups had a history of animosity, with rumors of a brewing feud circulating in the music community. In the early hours of November 6th, the situation escalated dramatically. As King Von and his entourage exited the lounge, they were met by Quando Rondo and his group in the parking lot. What began as a verbal altercation quickly spiraled out of control, with both sides exchanging heated words. The confrontation drew the attention of bystanders and security personnel, who attempted to intervene and defuse the situation. Despite their efforts, the altercation took a violent turn. According to eyewitness accounts, punches were thrown, and chaos erupted as the two groups clashed. In the midst of the altercation, gunshots rang out, causing people to scramble for cover. The Atlanta Police Department, which had officers stationed nearby, responded swiftly to the scene. However, by the time they arrived, the damage had been done. King Von, along with several others, had been struck by bullets. Paramedics were called to the scene, and the injured were rushed to nearby hospitals for treatment. Tragically, King Von succumbed to his injuries and was pronounced dead shortly after his arrival at the hospital. In the aftermath of the shooting, the Atlanta Police Department launched an investigation to determine the events that led to the tragic outcome. The department confirmed that the altercation had indeed involved Quando Rondo and his group, adding fuel to the speculation that the feud between the two rappers had played a significant role in the deadly encounter. As the investigation unfolded, 22-year-old Timothy Leaks, an associate of Quando Rondo, was identified as a suspect in the shooting. Leaks, who had also been injured in the altercation, was taken into police custody and charged with the felony murder of King Von. Leaks claimed he shot Von in self-defense during the altercation. This claim did little to pacify the anger and grief felt by Von's supporters, who viewed his death as a senseless act of violence that robbed the world of a promising talent. The case was subsequently classified as closed, but the questions surrounding the the events of that night, and Quando Rondo involvement remained. The tension between King Von's gang and Quando Rondo's crew had been in existence long before the night of Von's death. While the exact origins of their beef remain somewhat unknown, it is believed that the bad blood between the two groups was fueled by a combination of personal grievances and territorial disputes. In the wake of the murder of King Von, the beef between the two camps only intensified. In the days following the shooting, rumors began to circulate about a bounty being placed on Quando Rondo's head. These allegations suggested that those close to King Von were seeking retribution for his death and were willing to go to any lengths to get it. Just like that, Quando Rondo found himself at the center of a storm. Several of his scheduled performances were canceled due to security concerns, as venues feared potential violence stemming from the ongoing feud. In an attempt to address the situation, Rondo released a song titled "End of Story," in which he discussed the events of that fateful night and the subsequent fallout, but things didn't go the way he hoped they would. Although Rondo claims that he made the "End of Story" song just to address the events of that night, many viewed the song as a diss directed at King Von. Before his demise, Von had a popular song series called Crazy Story, and so fans believed Rondo intentionally named his song to match the series. On the other side of the conflict, King Von's associates, including his uncle Range Rover Hang, were vocal about their desire for justice. In interviews and social media posts, they expressed their anger and grief, vowing to keep Von's memory alive and hold those responsible for his death accountable. Range Rover Hang even released a song titled "The Story Continues," a direct response to Rondo's "End of Story." Unfortunately, King Von isn't the only rapper that was killed in 2020 as a result of gang rivalry. Rapper FBG Duck was murdered just months before, but the story of his tragic death began long before. To understand the events leading up to FBG Duck's tragic demise and its connection to Lil Durk's arrest, it is important to take a look at the complex and often violent world of Chicago's gang conflicts. The city has long been plagued by territorial disputes, with rival gangs vying for control over neighborhoods and resources. Among the most notorious are the Black Disciples and the Gangster Disciples, two factions with a deep-seated rivalry that has spanned decades. FBG Duck, born Carlton Weekly, grew up in this environment, navigating the challenges of life on Chicago's South Side. As a member of the Gangster Disciples, his music often reflected the harsh realities of gang life. In the months leading up to FBG Duck's murder, the rivalry between the Black Disciples and Gangster Disciples intensified, fueled by a series of retaliatory attacks and social media taunts. At the time, not many people knew what was to come. On August 4th, 2020, FBG Duck was in Chicago's upscale Gold Coast neighborhood, outside the luxury clothing store Dolce & Gabbana. As he went about his day, two vehicles suddenly pulled up, and the assailants opened fire on him. In a matter of moments, chaos took over. FBG Duck was struck 16 times, collapsing onto the pavement in a pool of blood. The attack was fast and brutal, leaving two others injured, a 36-year-old man and a 26-year-old woman who were sitting in a nearby parked vehicle. Amidst the chaos, a passerby captured the horrifying scene on video, and the recording quickly circulated online. The footage showed a man in a blue tracksuit believed to be FBG Duck, lying face down on the street as two police officers stood nearby. A woman in a car could be heard screaming into her phone, desperately calling for assistance. The investigation into the murder of FBG Duck was intense, as law enforcement agencies scrambled to piece together the events of that fateful day. Chicago police, alongside federal agencies, launched a comprehensive investigation, determined to bring those responsible to justice. The investigation uncovered a disturbing plan linked to the long-standing feud between the Black Disciples and the Gangster Disciples. 6 individuals were implicated in the murder, and they were identified as members or associates of the notorious O-Block faction of the Black Disciples. Charles Liggins, Kenneth Robertson, Christopher Thomas, Marcus Smart, TeCarlos Offord, and Ralph Turpin were all arrested and charged with murder in the aid of racketeering and conspiracy to commit murder. Prosecutors presented a compelling case, detailing how the murder was planned as part of a violent gang feud. Jurors deliberated for 16 hours over 3 days, ultimately convicting all 6 defendants. However, they are yet to be sentenced. In a surprising turn of events, FBG Duck's family filed a lawsuit against Lil Durk. The suit was filed by the Dinizulu Law Group, naming Lil Durk, his record label Only the Family, and several major music companies as defendants. The lawsuit alleged that Lil Durk, alongside the late rapper King Von and their associates, participated in a conspiracy to murder FBG Duck. The complaint alleges that a $100,000 bounty was placed on Duck's life as part of the conflict between the Black Disciples and gangster disciples. The lawsuit extends beyond individual accountability, targeting major music companies such as Alamo Records, Sony Music Entertainment Inc., Universal Music Group Recordings Inc., Interscope Records, and Empire Distribution Inc. These companies are accused of bankrolling the OTF criminal enterprise, knowingly signing artists with gang affiliations, and promoting diss tracks that threatened FBG Duck's life. The complaint argues that these actions not only fueled the deadly rivalry, but also profited from it, raising ethical questions about the responsibilities of music labels in such conflicts. In addition to all those who are named, the lawsuit also accuses Chicago's first response team of negligence. It claims that FBG Duck was alive for nearly 20 minutes after the shooting, yet received no medical treatment or transport to a nearby hospital. Lil Durk's recent arrest has prompted fans and critics to closely examine his life and past behavior, leading to many surprising revelations about his history with the law. As details emerge, people are uncovering more about his previous legal troubles and how they have shaped his career and public image. A history of criminal behavior. Lil Durk's story began in the heart of Chicago. Born Dirk Derrick Banks on October 19, 1992, he grew up in the Englewood neighborhood, one of the most challenging areas in the city. From a young age, Durk was exposed to the harsh realities of street life. With limited opportunities and a community plagued by gang violence, many young men, including Durk, found themselves drawn into the gang culture as a means of survival and belonging. When he found his passion for music and began his journey into the music industry, Duck began to channel his experiences and emotions into his lyrics, using music as an outlet to express the struggles and aspirations of his community. In the early 2010s, Lil Durk started gaining attention with his raw and authentic style. His music resonated with many who shared similar experiences. Songs like L's Anthem and This Ain't What You Want became famous on the streets of Chicago. Despite his rising fame, Durk remained involved with gang culture, and it landed him on the wrong side of the law. In late 2011, Durk's life took a dramatic turn. He was arrested on a weapons charge, marking his first significant encounter with the law. After being released on bond, Durk faced the tough reality of a legal system that seemed determined to keep him stuck in its hold. Despite this, he continued to pursue his passion for music, using it as an outlet for his frustrations and aspirations. On June 5, 2013, Durk found himself in legal trouble once again. This time, the stakes were higher. Allegedly, he threw a loaded .40 caliber handgun into his car when police approached him on South Green Street in Chicago. The charge was unlawful use of a weapon by a felon, a serious accusation that could have derailed his blossoming career. Held on a $100,000 bond, Durk's future hung in the balance. Yet, in a surprising twist, his lawyer presented 9 affidavits from witnesses who claimed Durk's innocent, with one witness even admitting the gun was his. This new evidence led to Durk's release on July 18, 2013, allowing him to continue his journey in the music industry. As Lil Durk's career continued to ascend, so did the complexity of his legal battles. On August 19, 2016, he was arrested on felony gun charges. However, in a surprising turn of events, the judge dropped the charges, clearing him of any wrongdoing. But that wouldn't be the end of Durk's legal issues. In May 2019, he and King Von were arrested on charges related to a non-lethal shooting that had occurred earlier that year on. Prosecutors alleged that Durk and Von had robbed and shot a man outside a popular Atlanta drive-in, making off with a Jeep Cherokee and $30,000. The case captivated the public's attention, with both artists spending weeks in jail before being released on substantial bonds of $250,000 and $300,000 respectively. The legal proceedings dragged on, casting a shadow over Durk's career and personal life. Yet, in yet another dramatic conclusion, the charges against Durk were dismissed in October 2022. Although Lil Durk's life and career is filled with legal battles and gang conflicts, other aspects of his life have recently come into public view. In August 2024, he took to Instagram and made a post saying, "Don't label me nothing outside of a man, a father, and a 1000% Muslim, The Voice." He later clarified his statement by posting on his Instagram story, sharing more about his religious journey and how it clashes with gang life. "I don't gang, I'm a Muslim, dot. Basically what I was saying on my post in so many words, you can't do both. I'ma be the one who say it." He continued saying, "So if you follow me as a brother, a friend, an icon, follow me to my new chapter of life. When I make music, vertical bar rap, what I seen and been through, not telling you to go do it. Huge difference. The music won't change, but my life goals will." Durk's statement in his IG post brought back memories of the time he shared his thoughts about the violence in Chicago. In 2022, Durk made a vow to reduce the violence in Chicago. He engaged in brainstorming sessions, seeking ideas to help foster peace to his hometown. At the time, he spoke to Rolling Stone saying, "I'm going to start by getting the city together to do my part to slow down the violence. Even if you do 99% of H*T right, you still got 1% of the demons with you. You get angry fast." And one reply can up $1 billion. That's why I'm not saying names no more in my music. I ain't speaking on the dead no more, none of that. However, with the charges he is currently facing, it seems Lil Durk didn't take his plan to heart. Instead of helping to reduce the violence in his hometown, many are now speculating that Durk himself was neck deep in planning assassinations and retaliations. This recent development is why many people support Katrina Thompson's decision to take back the keys Durk was given. The situation closely resembles that of another celebrity who is about to lose the keys to a city he once received and is also currently in jail. In September 2023, Mayor Eric Adams presented music mogul Sean Diddy Combs with the key to New York City. This honorary event took place in a Times Square ceremony which coincided with the release of Diddy's album, the Love album, Off the Grid. The key is a rare honor, reserved for those who have made a lasting impact on the city and its people. As videos of Diddy played on the Jumbotron for TSX Broadway, Mayor Adams then declared Diddy Day, highlighting Diddy's importance and ensuring it would be a memorable moment in the city's history. Diddy showed his appreciation for the honorary key by saying, "I want to thank you all for this honor and just recognizing me being from New York, giving me the key to the city." Fast forward to early May 2024 when a video emerged, casting a dark shadow over Diddy's reputation. The footage, obtained by CNN, dates back to March 2016 and shows a horrifying scene in a hotel hallway. Diddy is seen following his ex-girlfriend Cassie, grabbing her and violently throwing her to the ground. The video captures him kicking her twice and dragging her by her sweatshirt, a chilling confirmation of the allegations Cassie detailed in a federal lawsuit filed in November 2023. As the video circulated, it sparked a media frenzy, drawing widespread condemnation and raising questions about Diddy's past actions. The footage matches perfectly with Cassie's claims that Diddy physically attacked her. After the video was released, it took only a few months for Diddy's world to collapse. He was arrested and is facing serious charges, including racketeering. He is also accused of mistreating women and misconduct in multiple lawsuits. In the midst of Diddy's legal troubles, his former associates, partners, and colleagues have started to distance themselves from him. On June 4, 2024, Mayor Adams sent a letter to Diddy's communications representative, expressing his deep concern over the assault footage. In the letter, Adams wrote, "I strongly condemn these actions and stand in solidarity with all survivors of domestic and gender-based violence. Our city has worked tirelessly to make sure survivors are heard and seen by our administration." He expressed the city's commitment to supporting victims of such violence and requested the return of the key to the city. 6 days after receiving the letter, Diddy returned the key to the appropriate authorities. After years of evading arrest despite being accused of multiple crimes, Diddy is now behind bars, and the same can be said for Lil Durk. It's unclear what will happen next, but be rest assured that the hip-hop community is watching with bated breath. Check out any of our other videos by clicking the cards on your screen.